Very good. So very good morning to all of you, and welcome to our first class for Python programming and Python for AI and data science. So 1 to 2 points that I will suggest: try to what attend every class. I mean regularize that you have to continue, and whatever every day we will learn, we will study immediately. So you have to need to do the practice practically. Okay, so minimum 1 hour after class, minimum 1 hour if you will give towards your subject, means whatever we will cover, then that will be too sufficient. So as a result, everybody will export. In my session, 1 point programming language. Objective is one, that is how to develop application software. Writing a program means writing an application, and when that program we are executing and getting output, we can say that is application software. So overall objective is how we will write a program, how we will develop a program. When you will work in a company or any software industry, you will join. So what will be your role and responsibility? So that is nothing but to develop application software, to analyze various problem task, that is what based on the client requirement. Okay, so overall objective is how I will write a program by learning Python programming language. Okay, so this is the foundation. Then after completion of Python programming language, then we will go to machine learning. In machine learning, various algorithms we will study. Then we will do various projects. We will deploy the projects. That part also we will show you. So as a result, you will be expert and you will gain much more knowledge that will help you for getting a job. Okay, so we will start. So what is so Bhavani sir, Bhavani sir,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
I will go from the beginning. Otherwise, so as per your requirement, I will start. Now, otherwise, from the beginning, I will start.
सर beginning ରୁ start କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ sir ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି but beginning ରୁ ଆଉ ଥରେ start କରିଦେଲେ better ହବ।
Okay, better, better. It will be better. It will be better.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
And
sir ଆଜ୍ଞା
so, what is Python? If somebody asked, if somebody is asking what is Python, in which way, that you will give the answer. Guys, always you remember when the interviewer will ask you, so in which way, that you have to give the answer. Your answer should be unique. Your answer should be simple. That means whatever you will give the answer, everybody should understand. That means in front of you, whatever the interviewers, so they should understand what you are saying in a simple manner. Then they will appreciate you. Okay, so this point also you remember and you keep in your mind. So I'm writing two statements. Python is a general purpose high level and interoperated interoperated programming language. Python is a technology. Two statements I wrote. So I will explain what is this. So first line you read. So three terminology I have written. One is general purpose. So what is the meaning of general purpose or what general purpose means? General purpose means, you remember, using Python, we can develop varieties of applications and types of applications that we can develop using Python, like desktop application, web application, enterprise application, IoT application, AI, artificial intelligence application, data science application. So, n types of applications that we can develop using Python. That's why we can say it is a general purpose. Okay, then we will go to next point, terminology high level. Suppose I will write x equals to 100. Suppose in my program, one line that I have written x equals to 100. Now, this line is, we can say, it is in a readable form. That means this line I can read, he can read, Ramo can read. Okay, so whatever you are writing the program, basically that is called as source code. Okay, so if your source code is human readable form, then we can say that representing high level. Then we will go to interoperated. There is a there is another term, interoperated. So what is the meaning of interoperated? You remember one point, Python program, after writing, there is no compilation concept. So after writing a Python program, directly we will execute. So somebody is responsible to execute our Python program. So that somebody is Python interpreter. So when Python software you will install, otherwise as what in our last two webinars already I have given the clarity. Once you will install Anaconda software, and through Anaconda, once we will get Jupyter notebook environment, then at that time interoperator will create. Okay, so for executing a program, behind this lots of system softwares are helping. So we can say they are helper components, linker, loader, assembler, debugger, interoperator. So interoperator, basically we say execution engine, because interoperator is responsible to execute our Python program. So how it is executing? By interoperating. So what is the meaning of interoperating? Line by line, read and execution. First line, the interpreter will read, then it will execute, then the interpreter will come to next line, then the next line it will read and it will execute. Line by line, interpreter will read, then execute. That is called as interpreting. Okay, so we can say Python is an interoperated programming language. So give a response. I hope everybody got clarity.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so
Yes.
this way,
Yes,
so
sir.
uh, we can say Python is a general purpose, high level, and interoperated programming language. Then we will go to second point. So what I have written in second point, Python is a technology. Python is a technology. C is a programming language, not a technology. C++ is a programming language, not a technology. Java is a technology. Python is a technology. So when we can say a programming language is a technology, so there is a technical meaning, there is a technical explanation. Just you remember, when a programming language, when a programming language consisting huge amount of library, so we can write wide range of libraries, then that programming language, that programming language considering considering as technology, considering as technology. So here a term library came to the picture. So what I wrote, again I am explaining. So when a programming language consisting wide range of a library. So what do you mean by library? Library means a container, a package containing so many or varieties of inbuilt functions, inbuilt classes. So each inbuilt function having a specific purpose, having a specific functionality. Suppose I will tell why you are going to your library, because every college having a library. So why the students are going to their library? Because they are thinking, if I will go to the library, so varieties of books, library is a such place where varieties of books are available as per our requirement. So that's why we are going to the library. Similarly, library is a container, library is a such place containing huge amounts of built-in functions and built-in classes. So why we need to use built-in function? One example, suppose I will tell, so I will give a task, guys, you create a neural network. So you write the source code, you write a program, and when you are executing your program, you will get an output. Output is neural network. Okay, so it is tedious. It is very complex. I am giving that guarantee. Once you will write a program for getting a neural network, so every human being brain having a neural network. Okay, that consisting three layer: input layer, hidden layer, output layer. It is a concept of deep learning. So if I will write the program, definitely it will be tedious. 1000, 2000 lines of code you have to write, which is very tedious, which is very complex. But nowadays it is very simple. How? Due to library. One built-in function, if we will call, if we will specify, then when it will execute, then we can get a neural network. So it is it is very simple. So within a one line, that we can get a neural network. So how it is possible? Only due to library. So when the time will come, I will show you how to create a neural network, artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, by executing only one line of code. So once we are using library, so complex task, tedious task, okay, so happily we are resolving. Okay, so as another advantage is code complexity is reducing. Okay, so when you will target to a big task, when your target is to resolve a complex task, definitely at that moment you need to use what? Library. I hope everybody got clarity. Give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then point number 3, Python developed, Python have developed by Guido van Rossum, and it came to the market, in 1991. So who is the developer of Python? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. So the person have developed Python, and the first version of Python released came to the market in 1991. So come to the next point. So when the developer Guido van Rossum developed Python, what the developer have done? The developer have borrowed many features, many concepts from many programming languages. Okay, so little bit knowledge, little bit information that we will know what are the features the developer have brought languages, and that features the programmer, the developer have implemented in Python. Okay, so Guido van Rossum have developed Python by taking many concepts from many programming languages, which are as follows. Okay, so some key points we will know, we will discuss this points the developer Guido van Rossum have borrowed. So point number one, functional. Point number one, functional programming approach. Functional programming approach. Functional programming approach from C. So function. So one function chapter that we will cover in Python. So that concept the developer have taken from C programming language. So we will see what is a function. There is a function call. There is a function definition. When a function is calling, function definition is executing, function definition representing a task. So everything we will discuss in detail the function chapter. So the concept of function in Python, the concept of function in C programming is completely same. So the developer the borrowed the functional concept from C programming. Okay, now next, object-oriented programming concepts. Object-oriented programming concepts from C++. So Python, there is OOPS concept that we will cover: class, object, constructor, exception handling, multi-threading. So we will cover Python, OOPS, Python having OOPS concept, object-oriented programming concept. When the time will come, then we will cover. But strictly speaking, you remember this OOPS concept, the developer have taken, the developer have borrowed from C++ programming language. Scripting concept. Scripting concepts from shell script and form. So what do you mean by scripting? Okay, scripting nowadays one single language is very popular and we are using widely, that is JavaScript. So what do you mean by script? Script means a small piece of code, a small source code, and we are embedding in another language, JavaScript code we are embedding in HTML. So it is possible a small Python source code we can embed in Java language, in other language. So if it is possible, then we can say that is a scripting code. So we can say Python is a scripting language. That concept the developer have taken from shell script and Perl. Once upon a time, shell script and Perl were two scripting language, but nowadays it is outdated. Clear? Give a response. I hope everybody got clarity.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Then we will come to next point, modular programming approach. Modular approach. Modular programming approach from Modula 3. So once upon a time, Modula 3 was a programming language. Module, the concept is one task. Suppose a project is given to you, a project you will divide into sub-tasks, and where each task considering as one module. Okay, the login module, sign up module, payment module, inquiry module. So you divide your task into many soft tasks, but all are logically connected with each other, but each task considering as module. So that representing modular approach. Okay, then last point, syntax concept. Syntax concept, developer Guido and Rosum have taken from syntax concept from C and ABC language. C and ABC language. So once upon a time, ABC was a programming language. Syntax in C programming, in which way you will learn, suppose if statement or while loop, same way we will cover, same mechanism we will see in Python. So syntactical concept the developer have taken from C programming language and ABC language. So nowadays C, C++, ABC completely outdated. Nowadays, Python is the beginner's language. Beginner's language means without knowledge of any programming language, expert you can learn Python. And now, whatever the programming languages playing in the market, so Python is the easiest. Python is simple. Python is portable programming language in the market. Okay, so this is all about what is Python or Python introduction. So I hope everybody is writing in your note. So give a response.
sir.
Everybody
Yes,
got
sir.
clarity or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Okay. Then to see if I will go through Google. So 1 minute. Okay, so if you will go through Google, if you will simply type Python. Okay, so just to see www.python.org. This is the official site of Python, and what it have written, just to read what the Wikipedia is saying. So whatever we discussed, that point you will see here. Python is an interpreted high-level general purpose programming language. Okay, developer Python software foundation, stable release, preview release, typing discipline first appear February 1991. Okay, so if you will go through Wikipedia, so you can get, definitely you can gain some information about Python. And this is the Python official site, www.python.org. So these are the menus: about, downloads, documentations, community, success stories, news, events. So if you will go through what downloads, so just you see where is my cursor. Now I will bring my mouse cursor to downloads menu. Just to see where is my cursor. Python 3.9.5. You remember, this is the current version. This is the latest version of Python, that is 3.9.5. You write latest version or current version of Python, that is 3.9.5. So if you will go through, so here Windows operating system, Mac operating system, other platforms. If you will go through Windows operating system, just to see, so Python software that you can get. Python software. Okay, so Python software, Python 3.8, Windows installer, download Windows installer 64-bit, Windows installer. These are the Python software. Okay, so Python software, these are the Python software. Once you click, then it will download. So Python is open source and free software. So what do you mean by open source and free? We are getting Python software freely. There is no need to pay to somebody. So freely we can download Python software, we can get Python software. Open source means if everything is exposed in front of the public, then we can say that is open source. Python software, all Python executable file, that it is possible that you can see. Okay, so Python is completely open source and free software. But we are not downloading because in my last webinar already I have given the clarity how we will get the environment. That is, our environment is Jupyter Notebook through Anaconda. Anaconda software we have to install. Okay, so this is all about Python introduction. So everything you what if you want to note again, you go through Ceylon tutorial. Guys, every day you try to read ceylontutorial.com. So this is our what tutorial website, and every point that I have written here. So you go through ceylontutorial.com. Just to see, there is a menu option Python. You click, and just to see entire from the beginning to end all notes that I have written here. So here it is completely, it is a free access. Everybody can access by this ceylontutorial.com. Okay, then we will go to the next points. Everybody got clarity? So first my point is, everybody have written what here, what I have written. Give a response, then we will move
Yes,
forward.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will go to our environment. Suppose I will tell you develop and execute a Python program. Then question is, where I will develop, where I will get Python interpreter, that Python interpreter will execute. So for developing and executing a Python program, we need an environment. So basically, that is called as IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment. So our environment is Jupyter Notebook. Remember, there are many environments. Suppose I will tell you play badminton. How you will play badminton? For playing badminton, you need a field. You need some players. You need a stick. You need a cork. So complete environment you need. Similarly, to develop and execute a Python program, we need an environment. There are many environments nowadays. There are many environments that we can use for developing and executing a Python program. Okay, Visual Studio, VS Code environment, PyCharm environment, normal Python idle environment. Jupyter Notebook is one of the environments, and the most suitable and very simple environment is Jupyter Notebook. So our first point is we will get Jupyter Notebook. How? So guys, 1 minute. So now we will how we will get Jupyter Notebook. So if you will go through ceylontutorial.com, just you see there is an option how to, I have written how to install Anaconda and get Jupyter Notebook through Anaconda. Step 1, step 2. So all points along with a video I have what specified. You go through the tutorial. Again, I will explain. So as a result, everybody will get clarified. So question is how to get Jupyter Notebook. How to get Jupyter Notebook. Step number 1. So download Anaconda. Download Anaconda software from Google and install it. So what do you mean by Anaconda? If I will type in Google Anaconda. Suppose if I will type Python Anaconda, just to see what it have written. Okay, Anaconda is a distribution of the Python and R programming languages for scientific computing that aims to simplify package management and deployment. The distribution includes data science packages suitable for Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system. So overall, you remember what is Anaconda? Anaconda is a software. Anaconda is a software, okay, which is providing many environments. That's why Anaconda is considering as a distributor. Okay, so Anaconda distributing different environments, many environments we will see. So what are the environments Anaconda is distributing? So among them, Jupyter Notebook is one of them. Then we will launch Jupyter Notebook. Then Jupyter Notebook will install. So first of all, how you will get Anaconda? This is your today's first task, because after class you try to download Anaconda and install. This is the first task, guys, that you have to do. So just to see, so you go to the first link. So how I will get Anaconda software? How I will get Anaconda software? Just you see, just you see Windows operating system, Mac operating system, and Linux operating system. So basically, we all are using Windows operating system. So nowadays, I think your every system is 64-bit operating system. So now you click. So once you will click here, okay, Anaconda software will download. So if your system containing 32-bit operating system, then you will download here. So this is your first test today. You have to do download Anaconda from Google. Download Anaconda. Okay, then you will install. So once you will get what once you will download Anaconda, then you will install. How you will install? So very simple, very simple. So simply right click. So just to see, I have written how to download already what the corresponding picture I have specified. So after downloading, so one file one file you can get. This is Anaconda. This type of software you will get once you will download. Okay, so once you will download, you can get Anaconda software. So simply double click next. So to see next, I agree. Then next. Simple installation. I think you all are the what computer science students, BCA, BSc, IT or MCA, whatever it may be. But background is computer science. So you all have known how to install a software. Only just you see here, you need to put a tick mark. So add Anaconda to the system path environment variable. You will see. So here you will put a tick mark. One path will create. Okay. So once you will put a tick mark, a particular, a specified path will create that the control will, when you will execute your code, control will understand. Then after putting tick mark, just you will click install. Then installation will start. And another point you remember, guys, strictly speaking, at the time of installation of Anaconda, try to what keep internet on, internet connection, that you have to keep, that you have to do because it is mandatory. Why I am saying? Because at the time of installation of Anaconda, many software libraries, so they are coming to the Anaconda over the internet. That means maximum software libraries, they will also install automatically, like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn. So these are already these library will be available automatically in Anaconda. Okay, so they will come over the internet through their repositories. So at the time of installation of Anaconda, so try to keep internet on. So give a response. I hope everybody got clarity what I am saying.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then two, step number two. So after Anaconda installation, okay, after Anaconda, installation, okay, open Anaconda Navigator. Open Anaconda Navigator. So how you will what open Anaconda Navigator? So guys, you remember, once you will install Anaconda, then you will go through search button. In search button, if I will type AN simply, now I type it AN. Suppose if the option will come, otherwise ANA you type ANA. Okay, just to see one option is coming. Where is my cursor? I hope it is visible to all of you. Everybody can see. So now my cursor is over Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so step number two, after installation of Anaconda software, you will open Anaconda Navigator. Now I will click. So now I will click on Anaconda Navigator. So within a few seconds, so Anaconda Navigator will open. So now it is opening. Okay, so now Anaconda Navigator open. So guys, just to see, this is the Anaconda Navigator screen. Just to see how many environments, data, lore, IBM Watson, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, PowerShell, PyCharm, Orange 3, Glovage, VS Code, Spider, Qt Console, R Studio for R programming. So lots of environments, lots of environments we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 12 environments the anaconda is providing. Okay, but our requirement is what? Our requirement is Jupyter notebook. So here Jupyter notebook environment is here. Just to see, there is a button, there is a button named as launch button. Simply what you will do, you will click on launch button. Okay, so now step number 3. So once you will open anaconda navigator, then find Jupyter notebook, find Jupyter notebook and click on launch button. Okay, then Jupyter notebook will install. Then Jupyter notebook will install. So simple, only 3 steps. So now you will click launch button, then Jupyter notebook will install, and after installation within a few seconds, it will open automatically. It will open automatically through a browser. Clear? Give a response. So already I have Jupyter notebook, so that's why I am not launching. But what you will do, you click on launch button. I hope everybody got clarity. Give a response.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So today, so 41 participants. So one is sir 40 participants. Okay, so I hope all 40 students are understanding. So suppose after that, suppose you are not able to understand, again you go through the videos. Okay, so we have a channel in YouTube also, Ceylon software. Just in YouTube you type Ceylon software, you can get also more and more videos also. Okay, so now we installed Anaconda. Now we launched the Jupyter Notebook. That means we can say through Anaconda software installation, we got a Jupyter Notebook. Suppose I will close everything. Now suppose I am closing, just to see, I am closing everything. Now how I will open Jupyter Notebook? Okay, so once Jupyter Notebook installed, or we can say once Jupyter Notebook launched, then how I will open, how I will open Jupyter Notebook? Just to see, go through search button, type JU. Simply you will type JU. Okay, just to see, automatically Jupyter Notebook option is coming. Jupyter Notebook within bracket Anaconda 3. Okay, so now you click. Now Jupyter Notebook will open. So this is our environment, and from the beginning we will everything, whatever the point we will cover, practically we have to know. Practically we have to know everything. So now just to see, this is Jupyter Notebook environment. So this is Jupyter Notebook homepage. Okay, so now I will start my Python program. So the concept is saying, when you want to write some source code and you want to execute it, then you have to create a new Python file. So this is my Jupyter Notebook homepage. Suppose I want to write some source code and I want to execute. So for that, we have to create a new Python file. Just to see, in this Jupyter Notebook homepage, there is an option, new option. Just I clicked. So when I clicked new, then automatically Python 3 option is coming. Now I will click. Okay, so now this is our new Python file. Now this is our new Python file. So here, whatever you will write the source code as per your requirement, you will write, you will execute here. Just to see, guys, there is an option on title. There is an option on title. You click. So you give the what any file name, so that this name is completely user defined. Whatever you give, there is no problem. Okay, suppose I will write Python basics, Python basics tutorial. Okay, Python basics underscore creative techno college, creative techno college. Now I will click on rename. Okay, so now my file name is Python basics underscore creative techno college. Okay, so now I will write, suppose I will write print. Okay, so in Python, suppose I want to display a hello world message. Normal output statement in Python, that is print function. It is a built-in function. Suppose I will write, suppose I will write welcome to Python programming. Welcome to Python programming. Okay, so this is in later on we will cover. It is a string value, so that's why I have written within a double quote. In later on we will cover every string value you can identify within a single quote or double quote or triple quote. There is no problem, but time will come. I will explain all these things. But currently, you know, print function. Print function, basically we say this is output statement. So very simple. Now I will hit run just to see where is my cursor. So executing is very simple. Very simple execution. Simply I will click on the run button, then it will run or it will execute. So I got to welcome to Python programming. Okay, so that's why it is very easy. This task, suppose I will tell in Java programming, display a hello world message, then lots of line you have to write. Class name, curly bracket begin, public static void main, curly bracket begin, one output statement, curly bracket end, curly bracket end, curly bracket end, three curly bracket we have to give. But in Python programming, simply within one line, okay, within one line, we are resolving our task. So that's why we can say it is a beginner's language. It is a very easy. So give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so everybody got clarity, that I hope. So then we will see some basic terminology of Python programming. So that basic terminology is common to every programming language, not Python, to every. So one is variable, data type, and operators. Okay, so we will cover. So first point, you have to know what is a Python variable. Python variable. Suppose I am writing x equals to 100. Okay, so what is the meaning of this line? How the control is understanding this line? We are saying here x is a variable. So meaning is a memory is allocating name of the memory. Name of the memory is x, and the value 100 is assigning to x. So we can say a variable is a memory, and we can say a variable is a named memory, means memory having a name. So name of the memory is x. So I can define. So you write, I can define a variable. A variable is a named memory allocation, and the value may vary at the time of execution. So this is the perfect definition of a variable. X equals to 100. The value 100 is assigning to X. You remember in programming, right is always assigning to left. So this value 100 is not fixed. So this value may vary at the runtime. Maybe at the time of execution, you can write 200, you can write 300, any value you can change. Okay, so just to see, I will go to my environment. Suppose I will write x equals to 100. Simply you are write x. X means the value of x. Otherwise, you write print x. Print x. Now I will hit run. 100 output. Okay, so variable means a memory having a name. Then question is, this variable is which type of variable? Okay, suppose now here I can say it is an int type. Type means data type. Okay, so Python having two data type. One is primitive data type, another is non-primitive data type. But here data type we are not using explicitly. But in other programming language, we are writing int x equals to 100. But in Python, we are writing x equals to 100. Data type, we are not specifying explicitly. Then how the control is knowing x is int type of variable? Based on the value. So whatever you have assigned the value, that is 100. So the control first checking this value 100. 100 is an integer value, so that's why control is considering x is int type of a variable. But strictly speaking, you remember type means data type. Data type is available in Python. Just to see, there is a built-in function type. So within bracket I will write x. So type of x, now I will hit run. Just to see, I got int. Means int is available, but we are not specifying explicitly. That's why it is called as a dynamically typed language. Python is a dynamically typed language. Dynamic means at the runtime. That means at the runtime, the control is understanding x is which type of variable. Similarly, suppose I will write y equals to 12.34. Now I will write y means the value of y. Just to see, output is 12.34. So what is type of y? So float. So float is a data type. Int is a data type. Okay, suppose I will write z equals to true. So true is a Boolean value, true and false. So I will hit on the value of z is a true. So what is the type of z? Type of z. Now I will hit on bool. So int, float, bool, all are called as primitive data type. Suppose I will write s equals to, okay, creative, creative, creative techno college. So it is a string value. So what is the value of S? So creative techno college. And what is the type of S? Just you see str. So str means a string. Okay, so I hope everybody got clarity. Variable and data type. Data type available in Python, but we are not using explicitly. At the runtime, at the time of execution, the control is understanding based on the value. 100 is integer value, that's why x is int type of variable. 12.34 is a floating value, that's why control is understanding y is a float type of variable. true is a Boolean value, then control is understanding Z is a bool type of variable. So in this way, the control is understanding. And one point you write, Python is a dynamically typed language. Dynamic means at the runtime. At the runtime, the control is understanding variable is which type of variable. So this is all about variable and data type you write also. So I think this is all about today's session. And tomorrow I will cover operator, that is very important. Some fundamental terminology. First of all, we will cover Python operator. Then after operator, we will go to Python collection. That is very important. Collection, list, set, tuple and dictionary. After collection, we will know Python identifier. Then after that, we will go to Python flow control. If else, if else, while loop, for loop, break statement, continue statement. So completely for flow control we will cover. Then we will go to Python function chapter. Then after function, then we will go to Python string. After string, then we will go to Python file handling. After that, we will go to Python OOPS, class, object, constructor, inheritance, exception handling, multi-threading. Okay, so this is the Python OOPS. So in this way, we will cover one by one chapter. Okay, so give a response. I hope everybody got clarity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about today's session. Thank you to all of you. Bhavani sir, so I
Yes,
will
sir.
quit.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
ମୋ ଭଏସ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଶୁଭା ଯାଉଛି?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
ସାର୍ ତ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ କ୍ଲାସରେ ସାର୍ ଯାହା ଯାହା କହିଲେ ସବୁ ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ସମସ୍ତେ? ତାର ରେକର୍ଡିଂ ବି ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି। ଆଉ ଯାହା ଯାହା ଡାଉଟ୍ ହବ ତମେ ମତେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ପଚାରି ପାରିବ। ଶୁଭିଲା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ? ଯାହା
Yes,
ଯୋଉ
sir.
ଜାଗାରେ
Yes,
ଡାଉଟ୍
sir.
ହବ
Yes, sir.
ମତେ ତମେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ପଚାରି ପାରିବ। ମୁଁ କାଲି ତମକୁ ପାଇଚାର୍ନ କେମିତି ଇନଷ୍ଟଲ କରାହବ ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି। ଆଉ ଜୁପିଟର କେମିତି ମୁଁ କାଲି ବି ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି ସାର୍ ଜୁପିଟର ନୋଟବୁକ୍ ରେ କରିବେ। ତ କିଛି କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ହବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। ପାଇଚାର୍ନ ବି ରଖିଥାଅ, ଜୁପିଟର ବି ଡାଉନଲୋଡ କର। ଯୋଉଟେ ଯାହା ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହବ ମତେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ମେସେଜ କର କିମ୍ବା କଲ୍ କର, ମୁଁ ତାକୁ ସର୍ଟ ଆଉଟ୍ କରିବି। ଓକେ, ଚलो, थैंक यू।
Yes, sir.
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.